Hiya, folks. This is Rick Emmett of Triumph.
This is Mark Merrill, also known as Johnny B. Bad.
Hi, this is a best-selling author. I threw the best-selling in there. Best-selling author Dick Wybrow.
I'm Melanie from Second Shooter.
This is Jeff with Second Shooter.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Allen from Bridges Ablaze.
Hey, this is Sammy Lee, drummer of the band Red Rain.
Yo guys, it's Mark McKay.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher.
Hola amigos, this is Billy Sheehan.
Hey guys, this is John Karabi.
What's up everybody, it's Logan from All the Pretty Things.
Hey guys, it's Leva Leone.
What's up guys, Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project.
This is Kathy from Music and More Records.
My name's Reggie and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
It's time once again for the Weekly Pour, the show that knows everything about absolutely nothing. Here are your hosts, TBT and Ace.
That's us. Welcome to us. Hey. Welcome to you once again back into the pink room. I'm not sure if I'm digging it yet.
I thought you liked it last week.
Well, that was last week. I haven't slept since then.
No, you were up all night.
Yeah, or that was at least last night. Welcome. This is episode 113 of the Weekly Pour podcast. I, of course, am TBT. That guy over there, that's Ace. If you're watching us live, you're either watching on YouTube or you're watching on Facebook. If you're listening to us in your car as you travel 6 hours, it's only going to be an hour. So you got to find something else to listen to for the next 5. Right? I don't know. Anyway, if you're in Facebook or YouTube and you're doing this whole thing live, jump in the chat and say hi. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, whatever it is. Just do both. Go to both. Go to YouTube and Facebook. Have it in stereo and say hi.
Hi.
Quite a few people, not you.
Wow.
Yeah. Quite a few people in the chat already. Of course, first person tonight was Mrs. TBT. It's probably because she's in the next room over. And I said, hey, don't forget. Natalie, the moderator, was second. She actually showed up on time. Wasn't the first one in, so it's not like she could, do any housekeeping or anything beforehand. So she's kind of slacking. We've got Pam in, and of course, the Viper. You can never go wrong with the Viper. Oh yeah, Vipe, how you feeling? Hopefully better, because not feeling good sucks.
Yeah, he's happy to be alive.
Yeah, I got a bunch of windows to close here. Apparently, I have way too many open, and not the right ones.
Well, go in the house.
I know, not those ones. I'm tired, man.
Yeah, you said that earlier, and I don't know. I thought you were made of stronger stuff.
Yes, it's just the Mama TBT's in the house. I had to say hi to her too because she just popped in. You get tired when you stay up all night and you're as old as we are and sleepy.
Right. So you went to the Led Zeppelin experience last night in Indianapolis, correct?
Yeah. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin experience.
Right.
Which we'll get into a little bit more here in a bit, but
so, who drove?
Not me.
Okay. So the driving wasn't a problem.
No.
You're just old.
Yeah. Well, it's like 2 or 3 straight nights of staying up late.
Okay,
yeah. I mean, part of it is Mrs. TBT's fault. I mean, come on. Hey, yeah, just tired. And the weather, man. The weather sucks.
Man, yesterday, 71 degrees.
Beautiful. Today?
Yeah, it was dreary.
Yeah. Tomorrow?
Dreary. Yeah, is it going to be dreary tomorrow?
It's going to snow.
No, it's not.
It's going to snow, and the high is like 37 degrees.
We are too far south.
I don't know where you took your geography classes, but we are not in the South.
We are in southern Indiana. That's the South.
Well, that doesn't count. You could be in southern New York and say you're from the South.
We're in the South. In the South.
Yeah, it didn't work. A little chance of snow anywhere from just to the east of us. They're gonna get maybe up to 2 inches.
Crazy.
That's like that much, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. In your world, it is. Yes.
No. And
Yes.
and here, like a dusting. I'll take a dusting. But it's not
Well,
going to hit till 3. So, I feel bad for our local law enforcement. That's going to be as soon as people are starting to get off work. And you know as well as I do, when it rains, snows, the wind blows or whatever, people can't
no one
drive.
can. They can't drive at all.
Yeah, at all.
It's ridiculous.
They freak out.
I don't know what it is, but
yeah. Hey, can everybody hear Ace okay? You sound you sound like low to me, and I can't.
I'm yelling.
Can I control your volume a little bit more? Let me just see. You just sound low to me. That is not the right button. That was not the right button. There it is.
There, I moved closer.
Well, I didn't want you to move too much because then you lose your bandwidth.
It's gone anyway.
What are we? Okay, yeah, I got it. So I did something
the room here marginally better.
The what?
It's marginally better tonight than usual. It's not as good as it was last week.
Right. Oh, hey, Mrs. Ace has just entered the building. Actually, she did a couple minutes ago, and I'm just late. I've just noticed that there's the word ban next to everybody's name, and I could just randomly have a bunch of fun and just start banning people.
Why would you do that?
I don't know, just for the fun of it. I don't know if I can unban them.
Right, but they may not come back, and we need supporters.
Well, let me test it on the Viper real quick. Just joking. I won't do that. How was your week?
Well, we're only halfway through, but yes, it's been fine.
It's been a week since we did the show.
Oh, okay.
Our weeks start on Tuesdays.
That's been okay. It's busy. Yeah. This week especially has been busy.
Absolutely.
Personal thing. My mother is ill and not doing well, and we've been dealing with that. She's tough and coming on strong.
Oh yeah.
And she's had some good days lately. So pray for more of those.
Absolutely.
Other than that, nose to the grindstone, man.
Yeah. I was, normal weekend stuff, you run trash off and all that fun stuff. Cause out here in the sticks, we don't have trash service, unless you want to pay for a lot. So, take trash off, do this normal thing. I usually go over and see Mama TBT, but Friday I get a text from her that says, don't come see me. And I'm like, what did I do? Yeah. Don't come see me. And I'm like, what did I do?
Did she use your middle name?
No. So I knew it wasn't really bad. She didn't, TBT, yeah, she didn't do that, but,
no B.
No. Yeah. She just said T. Yeah. She didn't say TB, thankfully, but, she, lucky enough, I guess this stuff is still around, got diagnosed with COVID.
Really?
Yeah. I always thought it was just the flu. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, diagnosed with COVID, all the normal things, body aches, temperature, cough, sleepiness. I think she said yesterday when I checked on her, or it was the day before, she said she slept enough in the last few days that she's caught up for the next 2 years. So yeah, she will become a vampire soon.
It'll wipe you out.
Yeah.
I've had it twice.
Yeah. Did you get vaccinated?
This year, no. I have got no vaccines this year, none.
But if it's a vaccine, that means you can't get it, right? That's what a vaccination is, right?
I can't get the vaccination, or I can't get COVID.
You can't get anything that you've been vaccinated against, right? Isn't that the whole premise of a vaccine?
Well, I think it's more of it's like calling it a bulletproof vest. It's more of a bullet preventative.
That's fair. That's very fair.
I mean, it boosts your immune system a bit, but there's no guarantees that you wouldn't get it.
Right. So obviously we're here on a Wednesday, which is a little odd. As Ace alluded to, we were not able to do the show yesterday because one of us was up in Indianapolis. Is me.
Yes.
Me. Up to Indianapolis for the Murat at Old National Center, I think is what it's called.
Right, and that's a nice theater in Indianapolis.
It is capacity of 2,500 people, and
right,
I think 2,499 were there.
Was it pretty packed?
It was a good showing. Jason Bonham, everybody, we've talked about it before. Jason Bonham, who was supposed to be out on tour with Sammy Hagar for the Best of All Worlds tour, had to cut his portion short because his mother, as we're speaking of moms, his mom got sick. Allegedly, it was a stroke, and then she went into a coma.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that
She
part.
got sick. He had to fly back to England and obviously be with her, which took him off of the tour. And
4 shows. He missed 4 shows.
Right. And then Aronoff stepped in for him. So this was a chance to see him, from not being able to see him when we went to the Sammy Hagar show, a couple months ago.
Right.
Jason Bonham is just unbelievable. It is an evening with I was getting ready to say Def Leppard. I'm such an idiot. It's a Led Zeppelin experience, and it's nothing but Led Zeppelin music. Because obviously his dad was John Bonham, who was the drummer for Led Zeppelin, and that's what it was, just nonstop. The show itself, it's amazing.
Right. And you said it was about 3 hours? No opener?
No opener. I would say just shy of 3 hours. This was night 1 of the new tour, and he did something a little bit different. It was kind of funny. He being Jason, seemed to be really enjoying himself. And towards the end of the show, when you're expecting them to, hey, thank you. And then they walk and leave the stage, and then everybody stays there and claps, and they come out for an encore. He stands up from his riser and says, yeah, this is the time that we usually go away and you guys clap and make a bunch of noise and we come back out. How about we just stay here and play more songs? So he did 2 more. They did 2 more, and then that was the end of the show. And everybody...
So it was the anti-encore.
Yeah, it was the anti-encore. There's a few people who stood around waiting for it. Like, was that really the anti-encore? But they, turned the house lights on, and that was it. It was like, all right, we're out of here. I think it was a trick. People were leaving, but had they stayed, they would have came back out. But, whatever. This tour features one of the probably most extraordinary guitar players I've ever met, or not met, but ever witnessed on stage. The only 100% Japanese person I've ever seen with a perm. His name is Jimmy. I'm sure that's not his Japanese name, but Jimmy Sakurai. That's what we're going to go with because it looks like samurai. So we'll say Sakurai. Jimmy Sakurai has been he's been playing with him since I think 2017, and he is just an absolute beast on guitar. The stuff he does, he has played in numerous Led Zeppelin cover bands, and I think that's how he was discovered. And just I don't know, he's just freaking awesome.
You're saying he knew the material?
Slightly. Yeah.
Yeah. I just sent you the set list.
Yeah, it was a 17-song set, and there were some, the normal bangers that you would expect, but they started really digging in deep and getting some stuff that, you don't hear live very often. We got In the Light, Achilles' Last Stand, Friends. just a lot of like B-side stuff, which was a lot different than I think it was 3 years ago when I seen him last time in Brown County at the music center there. And, that was the normal hits, Kashmir, Stairway to Heaven, Whole Lot of Love, Rock and Roll. But they threw in some stuff. And according to Jason, I don't know if it's true, according to him, they haven't rehearsed for this tour at all. They all got back together.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing when you said you were going, because Jason missed the last 4 shows of the Sammy Hagar tour.
Right.
He was with his mother for a very long time. I mean, we saw Sammy in August. He had already been gone. We're into November. I don't know when he came back.
Has it really been 3 months?
Believe it or not.
Wow.
Isn't it? So I'm not sure when he got back, but I know he was over there a lengthy period of time with his mother, making sure she recovered and all that sort of thing. Yeah. And she's doing well, according to him. So when would you have time to even throw anything together and rehearse? But a testament to the group he has, they kind of can wing it, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, no complaints on your end, right?
Oh, no, none whatsoever. I think there was some sound issues. I don't think Jimmy's guitar was up high enough or as high as it should have been. Lead singer James Dillon, his vocals were great, his actual vocals, but the volume, it's off. And these things happen, it's not that big of a deal. It's not like you couldn't hear, but there were just, little nuances that you knew, okay, that amp's not getting enough feed. We got to turn up, that microphone, stuff like that. The normal kind of stuff when you're kicking off a tour after months.
Right. And you got to work out the kinks. But sometimes these little theaters, too, don't always play well.
Right.
Some are great, but I saw, I think, Hailstorm several years back, and Taylor Momsen, Pretty Reckless, at Evansville at the Ford Center, at the theater. The other side of the Ford Center, and we could not understand a word these people were saying. if you knew the song, you're picking it up pretty good. But I think it was Taylor Momsen. I couldn't understand a word she was saying. The sound was so bad, and it wasn't her. It was whatever was bouncing off those seats. It just wasn't coming off well.
Yeah. I'll give you one more thing about the show last night, and we'll jump into some other news. The bass player, who's been with them for, 13 years, he's got the most rock star sounding name I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah?
Dorian Hartsong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a badass name.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so there's your lineup. Jason Bonham, James Dillon at vocals, the bass player, of course, Dorian Hartsong, Jimmy Sakurai. I always want to say Samurai now. Alex Howland does keyboard, and he plays guitar on the opposite side of the stage of Jimmy. If you get a chance to see him, go.
Right.
It's like you said earlier, there's no opener. It's not a party. It's just badass Led Zeppelin tunes from long ago being played by the son of the original drummer. And the vocalist, he does justice.
Right. But if you go see them, you're not going to see a guy that's wailing Robert Plant style.
No.
But he doesn't have to. This guy's got a solid vocal range, and he can really hammer out these songs. I saw them several years ago open for, I think, Foreigner, and man, they were great. And what I love about what they're doing is that you're not going to hear these songs played live really anywhere else. It's the same thing Sammy Hagar's doing with his tour, because you don't hear his era of Van Halen anywhere. Sometimes you don't even hear it on satellite radio or the radio or anything. So someone's got to keep that alive. And while Sammy's around, he's going to keep his version of Van Halen alive. And while Jason Bonham is around, he's going to keep this, the music of Led Zeppelin going. And we need that. I mean, so many bands were influenced by Led Zeppelin. It'd be a shame to not have someone playing these songs, you know?
Absolutely. And who better to have doing it than one of the kids, you know, and a guitarist who has done nothing but, you know, played in cover bands. It's a perfect mix. It's a perfect show. It's a great night. It's very reminiscing, you know, when you start hearing these old tunes, and it's like, oh, I forgot all about that. Me and, the guys that I went with, we were all kind of like quizzing each other, you know, hey, what soundtrack was this on in the 80s movie, blah, blah, blah. You know, just stuff like that. It's good. It's a fun time. And more gray and bald-headed people than any show I've ever been to.
I was just going to ask you how old the crowd was.
Yeah. They were older than me, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and you'll run into that with some of these older bands. When I saw Alice at the Stanley Theater in Utica, that crowd was like the original crowd that he brought with him in, you know, the 70s or something.
They've been hanging around the whole time.
Right. They were going to those shows when I was born, you know?
Yeah. One of the we were talking about this, and somebody last night at the show, you know, you hear other people talking, and one of the questions was, "Oh man, I wonder if Jason's going to, you know, get back on tour with Hagar, because Hagar's got this big residency coming up." And lo and behold, we find out that Jason Bonham will not be rejoining Sammy Hagar for any of the upcoming Best of All World shows. He came back, you know, after the whole mother thing and being over in England, and it was during I think it was Instagram comment or something that was made on his page saying, you know, hey, can't wait to get you in LA. And, you know, when you join the band again, Jason actually replied to this fan's comment and said that Sammy Hagar, has decided to carry on with Kenny Aronoff. So sadly, no. Basically meaning that Jason Bonham will not be joining up, and it's going to stay with Kenny. Now, everybody's going to do their speculation. You know, oh, it's, you know, Sammy's just ticked off and doesn't want to have anything to do with him, and he's going to let, you know, Kenny do this, blah, blah, blah. Maybe Kenny earned it. Nothing against Jason whatsoever. But this dude picked it up with 24 hours notice. Hey, you got to fill in for Jason Bonham.
Right.
What do I do? Well, in 24 hours, he learns the set. You know, with the first show where he was there was in Cincinnati. And even according to Sammy says, you know, he played it with 90% efficiency. After 24 hours of not knowing these songs necessarily, I'll take 90%. I'd have taken 75.
I mean, he's got experience with those songs because he was in the Circle for a little bit.
Yeah.
He's been in Chickenfoot for a little bit. He's been in and out of Sammy's band for a while, so it's not a surprise that he could pick it up. I don't think this is anything that reflects any sort of heat between Sammy and Jason at all. I think it's more to do with availability. If I'm speculating, because the resident, we'll talk about the residency in a second, but they got the residency in Vegas, but they're also in the studio right now. Satriani, Michael Anthony, and Sammy and Kenny Aronoff. My first thought was, and I'm like a lot of people, my first thought was maybe there's some beef between he and Satriani, because at one point, that's why Bonham didn't get into Chickenfoot, because he thought he was at that gig and they went with Chad Smith.
Right.
Because there was something going on with him and Satriani that, you know, we don't know what that was, but they have said they cleared the air on all of that when this tour with Sammy started. I don't think it's anything like that. I don't think anyone's mad at anyone. I think it's got more to do with availability. Kenny's available, willing, committed, and not that Jason's not committed, but he's got this, you know, the Led Zeppelin experience going on. He's got who knows what going on. These guys keep themselves busy. They don't stop.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said. I don't think there's, I don't think there's any beef. I don't think there's anything bad. It's timing.
Right.
We don't know about the conversation that Hagar had, with Jason. And maybe they talked and he's like, hey, if you don't care, not that it's really up to Jason, but maybe he was like, hey, if you don't care, I'm going to stick with Kenny. So who knows? We could speculate all day long.
Yeah. And he may have said something to him about, hey, let the heat fall on me. If anyone asks, just tell them that this is a decision I made. Let it all come on me.
Yeah, exactly. For those that haven't got to see the Best of All Worlds tour, they are actually returning to Las Vegas for a residency in April and May of 2025. They are going to the Best of All Worlds tour, the residency, at Dolby Live at Park MGM in Las Vegas. The tour will, of course, reunite the rock powerhouse band of Hagar, Michael Anthony, Joe Satriani, and Kenny Aronoff with a new Only in Las Vegas set list running April 30th through May 17th. So if you want to hop on one of those weekend flights over to Vegas, do it. I think tickets actually go on sale tomorrow for this string of, it's 17 days. 17, 18 days. So that's going to be really, really good. Hagar says that he plans on digging deeper into the Van Halen catalog and his solo career, plus Montrose, Chickenfoot, and the fans are in for a lot of surprises.
That's what's cool about it too, because he played some deep tracks when we saw him,
right?
But he didn't cover everything. He didn't cover everything, and not just with Van Halen, but there's a lot of people that want to hear stuff from the Balance record.
Yeah.
He played the Seventh Seal. He didn't play Can't Stop Loving You until he got to Japan, because that was a huge hit in Japan. So he played it there. But there's people wanting that. And then what if you want to hear more of his solo stuff that you didn't get to hear? More than just heavy metal, more than just Only One Way to Rock, I Can't Drive 55, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to go. So many ways to go. And the venue's 5,000 seats. Man, that's intimate.
Oh, for sure. Natalie's already made the comment, let's go to Vegas. I'm in. I've got nothing to do.
What you'll get in trouble.
I know. I'm already married though, so it's not like I can go to Vegas and get married again. So, just because it's been a very, very, very long time, I got to say hi to Lil TBT, who just jumped into the chat as well. Good to see her finally make time for her father.
Yeah, I know how that is.
Right. So yeah, April and May, end of April, beginning the first 2 weeks of May. It's going to be awesome. I look forward to some videos coming from there. It'd really be cool if they were doing the Sphere, so that I wouldn't have to say that U2 is the only one to ever play the Sphere that I remember.
Cool.
But
yeah, that would be.
Yeah, it'll be neat.
What do you think tickets would cost? What would you speculate for this? Not the Sphere.
For this, I'm gonna guess 45, 47.50.
So nothing outrageous, you think?
Well, that's probably also my wishful thinking. So I don't know. Probably be more, but whatever. No. Speaking of Sammy, the one thing that they may not have on this tour is tequila. You froze on me. I don't know if you're still there, but your face looks really weird, all froze like that, and you just left. So you'll be back in. So there could be a shortage of tequila, unfortunately. Now I'm full screen. Could be a shortage of tequila for this show, this series. For those that don't know,
What
are
I
you
missed?
back in here?
What?
I said, are you back in?
Yes. What did I miss?
You've missed all kinds of stuff. You missed, you didn't miss anything. I was just getting into the tequila shortage.
What's going on with this? I don't know what you mean by tequila shortage.
So if you go to this residency with Hagar and or with Hagar and the Best of All Worlds tour, there may be a tequila shortage.
Maybe.
And that is because Sammy Hagar and Guy Fieri, however you say it, were robbed of $1 million worth of tequila. Their tequila is facing a huge setback after two of their trucks for their jointly owned tequila company were hijacked with over $1 million worth of product inside.
That's crazy. $1 million worth of product.
Yeah, the trucks were transporting 4,040 cases of Santo tequila, including the Blanco, Raspado, and the Extra Anejo, the latter of which has the highest price point. Here's the kicker. It had just crossed the border from Mexico into Texas. So they weren't robbed in Mexico. It was in Texas. Right across the border. So it appears, according to a representative for Sammy, said that it appears this was an organized crime effort where the trucks were illegally double brokered to different carriers who transferred the product to their trucks. This is a movie. Like, this is a plot for a movie. I can see it now. Sammy's writing the script.
I can see it in my head.
Yeah. The statement continues, for a growing company like Santo, it's really a shame for something like this to happen in the middle of our strongest year to date and right before the holidays. Red Rocker noted in a statement of his own, anyone that knows business knows that this is a huge setback for any company in a hugely competitive market, which it's alcohol. It's very competitive.
Sure it is.
He adds, but Guy and I will survive. Most of all, we're glad that nobody was hurt during this crime. Guy Fieri released a statement basically saying that it was like a movie. Him and Sammy found out about it on November 14th, so we're 6 days ago. And he says, we've worked so hard. This is our best year we've ever had in Santo. We just had all this momentum, and now whatever's on the shelf is all people are going to get. That being said, I'm going to be going to the local freaking liquor store and getting some because they've got it.
How much is it typically?
It depends on which one. I can't see my bottle. I've got one.
Liquor store.
Yeah. I'm going to say it was $79.
Okay.
But I'm not a big tequila drinker, but I tell you, it is a good tequila.
I think did you mention that it takes 4 years for these to make this?
No, I hadn't even got there.
Right. 4 years. And you can elaborate on that, but they're also saying this is so it's $1 million worth of tequila, 24,240 bottles. That's what that is. 24,000 bottles. So are you selling that on the black market, I guess?
Oh, probably. Or it was sent overseas somewhere.
So why that tequila? Has this happened before with other tequilas?
It's pure speculation here. Santo. All right. They're up and coming. They're new, but they hit the ground running, and they're doing awesome, doing real good, starting it. And the holidays are coming up. So why not get, and they don't mention this, but, and I wonder if these had even gotten to that point. Some of these bottles that were getting sent out were going to stores where there were going to be like autograph sessions. Guy Fieri doing a tequila tour and stopping off at stores and signing bottles and stuff like that. So I'm sure these hadn't gotten that far, since it was literally just as it crossed the border. But maybe it was just because they were doing good. Yeah, it's Guy Fieri is offering $10,000 reward if they can at least get back the extra añejo, which is the one that's the most expensive. And as you just mentioned, it takes 4 years. This is like a lot of good liquors out there, some whiskeys, bourbons, age. Age makes everything better. Shannon just made a good point, stating that maybe Sebastian Bach is wanting to up his profits for his alcohol, so he's taking the competition out. Hey, that's a very good possibility.
Well, and you mentioned that the Skid Row rum was something like 8 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, what if you've robbed Skid Row's rum and now they've got to wait?
Well, think about this. There's some Buffalo Trace bourbons that age 23 years.
That's crazy.
Which those bottles are, in the secondary are stupid expensive. And unfortunately people pay those stupid secondary prices. But, one of the best bourbons there is, in my humble opinion, is Eagle Rare. It is a 10-year bourbon. 10 years. Goes in a barrel. Wait 10 years. Let me see if it's any good. And it usually is. But, 10 years. But so, yeah, I get it. They're wanting all these bottles back, and because it took 4 years and they were probably super, super stoked. Hey, man, it's coming across the border today. We'll have it at the warehouse, blah, blah, blah. And then it's gone.
I can't even imagine, how this feels. I mean, and maybe it sounds silly, but how it feels because you've anticipated this for so long to really get this going. And now, you don't know what you're going to do because you're stuck.
Yeah.
And you're not just going to go run out and pick a tequila. Sammy knows what he's doing because he's done this tequila business before.
Yeah.
With his Cabo Wabo. So this stuff is going to be good. You mentioned that. He's got a rum as well. So this stuff's going to be good. And he's not just going to pick up, some random 4-year-old barrel of tequila.
No.
The supplement. It's not going to happen.
What is his, is it Red Rocker rum? No, it's Beach Bar rum.
Yeah, Beach Bar.
Sammy's Beach Bar rum. I need to find that. I love rum. That's the sailor in
right.
It. And yeah, I need to find that. I want to pull that up and just hold on to it. I actually reached out to Guy right before we went on the air, probably about an hour before, just to see if he wanted to provide a statement. As of press time, we have not received a statement from Guy Fieri. But if we do, we'll post it. Yeah, sucks. I'm going to go. I'll be on the lookout for it. I will help look for it.
I was hoping you'd be on the lookout for your Skid Row rum that we were supposed to be getting, but
that's a whole nother story. But
yeah,
I'm going to leave that one alone right now. It's because I'm mad, but whatever. Speaking of Sammy Hagar and Best of All Worlds and Van Halen and all that stuff, allegedly, according to Alex, there are 3 or 4 albums. Wow. That was like a drive-by.
That's like a big squirrel out in the front yard, I tell you.
According to Alex Van Halen, there are 3 or 4 albums worth of unheard Eddie Van Halen music currently sitting in the vaults. Not 3 or 4 songs. 3 or 4 albums worth. He recently said on the Talk is Jericho podcast with our friend Chris Jericho, he said during that show that the plan is to sift through the material carefully to see what's worthy of release and what isn't. I want to hear it all.
That's impressive that he would say that, because for so long we thought he was going to not release these things. Wolfgang has talked about not digging into the vault at all, but
right,
maybe he be just being protective because maybe Alex wasn't wanting to. Have you heard the one they did release, Unfinished? Yeah. That's a really good song, and you can tell it's a newer type of thing. It sounds a lot newer than the stuff with David Lee Roth. And some people were saying leave that alone the way it is, but man, I wish I could hear what Sammy would do with that.
Oh, I know. Alex added that on one end of the spectrum is the fact that the little licks didn't make a song. On the other end of the spectrum, some of those licks are so unbelievably powerful, it's too bad that they ended up in the back of the vault rather than being records. Alex did emphasize that even though there's a wealth of music, he is setting a very high standard and won't just release anything. According to him, it is, but sometimes it's those off things that kind of get you excited. You know, those it's like demos for me. It's like demos. It's like, oh man, I want to hear that. I don't care if it sounds like, crap or whatever.
Right. Because you're hearing where that song started as opposed to what it ended up being. And with the stuff that he's talking about, you're not going to hear where it ends up, but you're going to hear, and imagine this creative process that they went through to even get to that point. And that is fun to speculate and think about.
Yeah, exactly. Alex also stated that this isn't something that's going to happen overnight. He said it's going to take time because he wants to do it right. And, obviously the fans deserve that. The songs themselves will stay there in the vault until he figures out how and why and what to do with them. He says you have to remember it has to be on the level of where Ed and I, where we used to play. We're not just going to shovel it in. We have access to some of the greatest musicians on the planet, and a lot of them are more than willing to take a chance on some of the stuff. So could you imagine, let's just throw it out there, Sammy, Aronoff or Jason and Michael Anthony. Because if Alex isn't playing drums,
right,
we'll leave out Satriani, because maybe these tunes can be spliced together, and now all of a sudden you've got a badass song from almost
they can be because you can get with some AI tech, and you can probably put all kinds of stuff into those songs and make
your sound engineers can do it when they do the mix and everything. They can do it. A lot of those that don't know how albums are made, sometimes the musicians don't even see each other. The drums are done on one day, guitars on another, vocals on another, so on and so forth. I can't leave bass players out. So, bass is done too, unless you're Jason Newsted and it's Metallica and Justice for All, and they turn it down. But that's for another day. So, yeah, it'd be interesting. I'd love to see who he gets to, I guess, do. I'm trying to think in my head, the Bad Blood. Could it be set aside? Who knows? But I would hope so.
I would hope so, but I don't know. I don't understand any of that. Sammy has talked about repeatedly, that he's, mended fences with Eddie before he passed. They've called and texted and reached out to Alex a million times, and I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I want to jump into one more time. I want to save us enough time towards the end of this, and we're just about at the 15-minute mark of having 15 minutes left. I want to save us time to talk about the elephant in the room, which is the Tyson Paul fight. But before we get there, this was going to be all we did yesterday. But before we get there, with the holidays right around the corner, it's very important to note that the Norelli Family Foundation, which is a private nonprofit foundation located in Central Florida, have announced the production of a new album of music for children, released in August of 2024 and nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Children's Music Album. Solid Rock Revival is a full-length studio album featuring performances and song remakes by the Rock for Children band, headlined by legendary artist Alice Cooper, and featuring other well-known musicians including Slash, Rob Halford, and DMC of Run DMC. So if you're, this is the Solid Rock was founded in 1995. Alice Cooper's Solid Rock Teen Centers are something that inspire teens to discover their talent and achieve artistic excellence through music, dance, and the arts, as well as vocational training in sound, lighting, staging, and fellowship, all in a safe place. And it's supervised, of course. This album, I mean, I already mentioned it, Grammy nominated, and Alice Cooper is lending an exclusive remake of his classic 70s hit, No More Mr. Nice Guy, to the album. He has repenned the lyrics and is calling it Now I'm Mr. Nice Guy. He also recorded I'm 13, School's Out, No Bummer, and Monster Mash. Rob Halford provided lead vocals on Pleasant Dreams, and DMC contributed to In the Midday Hour. Slash, of course, provides guitar tracks for Freewheelin', yeah, which is a playful duet with Alice and his daughter, Calico. So, yeah, Grammy Award winner 123 Andres. Is it Andres? 123 Andres? I don't know how to pronounce it. That's what we're going to roll with. He performed Vamos Mis Amigos and Radio Noob, the 8 and 10-year-old sisters rock duo and TikTok sensation for Mexico, recorded Sugar Rush, and then other staff and teens from the Teen Center were directly involved in the production of the album. I just thought it was kind of cool. A little bit of, rock and children, which is always good to see, especially when it's, Alice Cooper, Rob Halford, Slash, and DMC. It's not rock, but it's still DMC. They were rock when they were with Aerosmith.
Right.
All right. You have 14 minutes to just puke on your thoughts on the Jake Paul Mike Tyson bout. Not just that fight, but all of them, including the co-headliner.
Well, and that's where I'll start, because that was a real match. That was a real fight. The
Katie Taylor,
Amanda Serrano fight.
Yep.
I didn't watch so much of is it Barrios and Ramos fight? I watched some of it.
Right.
But they looked, from everything I heard and what I saw, that was a great bout as well. And the Serrano Taylor fight was fantastic. I liked how they, those girls didn't give up. And we had all kinds of controversy. We had, one of them headbutting the other. Is it intentional? Is it not? Serrano loses, even though she landed more punches. We had all this controversy. Which sometimes is unfortunate, but it was kind of fun too, because it was such a great fight.
Oh yeah,
that was great. But the thing with the Jake Paul Tyson fight, and here's where I wish I had been the whole day, because I spent the whole day doing what everyone else did. I was talking to my family about the greatness of Tyson, showing them fights. These are old Tyson fights and all the knockouts and all that stuff. which that's fun because now you get to tell your kids about Mike Tyson.
Sure.
But what we should have expected is what we got. We should have expected that Tyson is not going to move his feet well. He's going to be pretty much wearing cement shoes. He landed a punch here and there, but I think he missed more than he landed. And Jake Paul, I don't know what was he doing? Was he laying off? Was this supposed to be just for fun? What got us all hyped up too were the Instagram stuff, and you watch Tyson clips where he's just beating the crap out of his sparring partner, and the punching bag, and Jake Paul is walking around with diamond ear covers, and that was the best part, was the hype. The hype.
I think that this was probably the most rigged fight in the history of boxing, just like every other Jake Paul fight. But this one featuring Tyson was so rigged. When you watch the sparring, the training that Tyson did, Tyson's ass at the beginning of the show before they even get to the ring, when you watch all that and his quickness and everything, there is no doubt in my mind that this was rigged. Tyson came out strong. I'll give it to the first round. He got Paul with one good one. And yes, I think when they go up, they go to the ropes not too long after that. And, they're mouth to ear kind of thing. And you don't know what's being said. Something was said because as they're broke up, Tyson does one of these, like, all right, I got you. To Jake Paul. And then from that point on, nothing happened. Just dancing around, sugarfooting this, blah, blah, blah. Nobody threw good punches.
Right. Or they were light when they connected. They were kind of light.
Yeah.
I can't believe that we saw that kind of ferociousness in these training videos, like a Rocky movie. I mean, he even got up during the weigh-in the night before and bitch slapped him, which I'm thinking, this guy is focused. He's going to just kill this guy, and that's what we all wanted.
The slap was harder than any punch that was thrown the entire night.
Exactly. I don't understand. Now, speculation on the payday was what, Tyson got $20 million for this,
at least,
and Jake Paul got like $40 million. So, and then he also Tyson is also. Did you see the 12-year-old that interviewed him? Did you see that interview?
No.
This little girl interviews Tyson and asks him about his legacy. And Tyson, and it's great because it's so funny, but he tells her that he doesn't care about his legacy. He's going to be dead. When he's dead and gone, he's not going to care about his legacy. So why does he care? That to me is kind of telling at this point. If this is set up like you say it is, and there's reportedly a script floating around online. Have you seen the script?
Yeah.
There's a script. I don't know if that's real or not. That seems a bit too detailed, but if this is like you say it is, and maybe Tyson's in for a payday and doesn't care about legacy, then we saw a rigged fight. That everyone.
Hi, Kathy. Hi, Kathy. We see you.
Hey, Kathy. Everyone made money on, or everyone got something out of it. Even Netflix, for as atrocious as their feed was, because they weren't even prepared for this or something. Even the negative publicity was still good for them.
See, and this is where I had the issue. Put the fight aside, two of the four fights were decent. One was spectacular. Then we got to talk about the production of Netflix. If you wanted to present such a magnificent show, you're in AT&T Stadium where it holds 100,000 people. for Mike Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
Why on earth? I don't care that it was boxing. I don't care if it was sanctioned by the WBC, the WKRP, whatever. Why are you dealing with Rosie Perez, Roy Jones Jr., which I love Roy Jones Jr., but his commentating for a boxing match, and maybe it was just off that night. I followed Roy Jones because I lived in Pensacola. I love Roy Jones Jr., not as a commentator. I'll go back again to Rosie Perez. Rosie, this is going to be a great fight. What do you think? Yes, it is. Thanks for your input. Horrible. The microphone issues that they had with the guests, Jerry Jones, Michael Irvin, Evander Holyfield. He couldn't even talk because he couldn't hear what was going on. It wasn't because of the crowd. It's because of their crappy stuff.
Oh, I thought you meant his ear was bitten.
No, because he was listening in the other one. Here's my thing with all of this. Do they not realize that in January, the WWE is doing live events after a $1 billion deal for Monday Night Raw?
Right.
Every Monday night. It's not going to be 60 million people.
Exactly. But it's going to be a lot.
But it's still going to be a lot. You're going to tell me you couldn't get the feed from one of the most, one of the biggest stadiums that we have, the most technologically advanced, and y'all couldn't figure this out for a fight?
Well, and not only that, they have, don't they have a football game too? Don't they have like Christmas Day or Thanksgiving or something on Netflix?
So what's going to happen? TKO Holdings is going to go after him and say breach of contract when that starts happening for like the first 2 months of Raw shows? I hope not for Netflix's sake, but good grief.
Yeah, that was horrible. Yeah. This is how bad it was. And kudos to Apple products, but I couldn't watch it on my TV because it couldn't pull the stream in. I had to watch this on my iPad, which I'm using now, and we had very little issue with the iPad. I don't know what the difference was, but we had some issue with it. But we are all in the living rooms watching this on a TV tray, in different, sitting in our seats trying to watch what we can on this smaller screen. It was ridiculous that we had to do that.
Yeah.
And, I will say though that Jake Paul has one more victory at that Dallas Cowboys stadium than the Dallas Cowboys do this year. I will say that.
That was a dick move. Gosh. You ain't wrong, though.
Yeah, they're rough, man. They're rough.
Yeah, I've given up. I hope that Netflix is able to get this figured out. I sometimes now think that it is Netflix that is running your internet.
Oh, I know. It is.
Because of your freezing and, you're out of the whole thing. And sometimes it makes me wonder. I hope that you and Netflix can get your proverbial crap together. See, you're doing it again. You're starting to fade out on me.
Right at the end. It's like I can't handle it more than an hour.
This is almost worse than when you were before.
Man, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to find boosters or something. Christmas list. I need boosters. Internet boosters.
I already got you a microphone and you don't use that.
We couldn't get it to work.
Yeah, that's all we have for this week. We hope you were entertained. If you're not, try again next week.
Yeah, try it again. Maybe we'll be better.
Yeah, then you will be. Thanks to everybody that showed up and just ran the crap out of the chat room. You guys are awesome, as always. Kathy, thanks for joining in, even though you were late. We get it. No big deal. You guys, if you're not following Kathy or Music and More Records on social media, go follow them. There's some big news coming out of that area with Kathy and Music and More Records. So please jump in there, take a look at what's going on, and yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. I'm TBT. That guy is ace. Damn it. That guy is ace. This is a Weekly Pour podcast. Bye.